Hey everyone, Vic Michelucci here, and the big news of the day locally is the removal of the Confederate monument that has been there in Springfield Park near downtown Jacksonville for more than 100 years. But you may be wondering, why is this so significant? So I want to bring in our friend Adonica Toller. She is a historian, longtime Jacksonville resident, also with the Clara White Mission. Why is this so, let's just say, monumental?
It's so monumental because the history of how the monuments came about, they were created to intimidate African Americans, to intimidate them from voting. And so to have this come down over 100 years later, it's really an important move for this city because the Confederacy was a totally different country than the United States. So you're honoring another
Mm-hmm.
country within your country, the United States, and it was used as a tactic to intimidate. It wasn't a tactic for glorifying. And so to have this monument come down today is very important in righting a wrong that started a long time ago.
And this specific monument was put up in 1915. So we're
Mhm.
talking about 108 years ago. You said that it's interesting to point out that these monuments were placed near government buildings, in public parks. There used to be one literally right across the street from City
Correct.
Hall. What's the significance of that?
They were there for the intimidation of
Yeah.
the political activity. You have to remember during Reconstruction was the one era where former enslaved and free blacks were very active in the political realm, and they actually were very successful, and that was intimidating. And plus, those who supported the Confederacy did not want to admit defeat. So um, to disenfranchise those who were so active and doing well in politics, specific things were done to disenfranchise them. And these monuments was one of them. And the monuments didn't really start coming out until the end of the 1800s. So, like almost 30 years after the war was over, the Civil War ended, these monuments start showing up. And that was the way to bring about that intimidation, get blacks from start voting and participating in politics. And they increased up into, and like you said, this one was built in 1915.
Hmm.
So the Confederacy was long gone. So the Daughters of the American Revolution made that they were they led the charge in having these monuments put across the country.
Very interesting and a big topic for conversation. I know that you said it's important that we do talk about this and that these monuments do have a place, but maybe in a museum, not in a public space. Much more to go into on the history. We're going to do that tonight, starting at 5 o'clock on News for Jax.